last talk.
Keith kind of forgot how fingers worked.
Yes,
Yeah,
I did.
I noticed
Yes, I did. That's now
Three,
2. 3,
two,
2, 1.
Hit,
Whoa, what
hit
was that
number
about?
3, my
I
lord.
don't know.
I enjoyed that. That was fun.
Eh,
Uh,
it's a thing.
so, does anybody want to recap us on last week? There wasn't
Last
oodles
week?
that happened. It was short. Or last week. Last time on Dragon Ball Z.
I know it was a
um,
really short session. I should
It
have watched it
was.
and didn't.
yeah, we traveled over the mountain right at this point and came down to the valley portion, and there were these creatures that were running from a pretty good distance towards
Yes.
us, and everybody was kind of preparing spells and attacks, I think, and we were getting ready for a fight, but I don't think we ever actually got to the fight.
No, there was enough going on with people having to go this way and that, and I think also I'm not sure about this, but I feel like all of us that were actually here were also incredibly tired.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I think we
Something
were.
happened.
So,
Yeah,
Man, or
I feel like none of us were super upset about the idea of putting pause on that encounter and letting everybody else figure out what they needed to so that we could have them back. So yeah, effectively, yeah, exactly right. You guys managed to go through the crevasse to get through your hike faster. Paul cheated. Ren forgot
cheated.
Paul could cheetah. And almost jumped into could just swan dived in as a cheetah.
Yeah.
But everybody got through all right. Paul also healed up a bunch of damage because he was really hurting after the last fight they were in.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And you guys saw these 3 creatures being chased. One of them seems to have your orb, if that is the correct thing that you are looking for. You did see one carrying an orb-ish thing. And there are a small group of hunters or scouts that look like they are Renethri that were chasing after it as well. And I think you guys had just closed the distance so that Thea was in spell range, Paul was getting into melee range, and I don't know that we actually had what Teffin was doing yet, and we didn't have Eden at that point. So
right, yeah, so yeah.
yeah, I
yeah,
think I
I stepped
was.
out. Okay.
Because they were all moving faster than me, but I think I was trying to close to lightning launcher range.
yeah, I believe that is correct. Um, so yeah, you guys have kind of this phase. If you would like to tell me where you are in relationship to these. 2 of them are pretty close together towards the front of the pack. One of them looks injured. They are a little further back. So they are moving slower. They still look like a threat. They don't look like they're badly injured. It does look like there is another one that has already fallen, along with potentially some people that have fallen as well in their wake behind. So I'd say that they're probably like the first 2 are about 30 feet ahead of the other one
And
as they
where
close
is
the
the orb?
distance. So the orb would be with one of the 2 in front.
Okay.
So if we're saying one is slightly ahead of the other, we're going to give the orb to Critter 2. I'm going to draw a little orb on top of his thing so I remember.
Do we know what these things are? Are they
To you, they would be new. See if there's something that. Yeah, I think all of you guys, this would be new to you. You have not seen these before. Although Eden and Paul roll me. Oh, you're a native, Teffin, right?
No.
You're not. Oh, I forgot some backstory stuff for you then. Oopsie. Um,
Uh, I
Message
will
me.
remind you later about my backstory.
Okay. So I'm gonna have Paul and Eden roll me a history check.
I'm sure that'll go great for Paul.
Yeah.
It'll probably go about as well as it did for me.
Oh, that good, huh? Oh dear.
5.
Oh, good job, Paul. 3.
Nah, nah. You don't know nothing. You don't know nothing. Um,
Look, it's a dog.
Thea hasn't been here that long, but Teffin had at least had himself situated in that city for a while. Go ahead and roll me a history check.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna make us team water.
I should bring my dice tray a little bit closer. 15.
Okay. So you might have heard stories before that had things like this in them. And they were said to have come from what the people on your plane considered otherworld.
Dun dun dun.
Yes. Um, so a lot of times these were kind of stories that were told, kind of like Grimm's fairy tales are now, where there's usually some kind of a weird little morality tale involved, but it's really kind of dark and depressing and whatnot. And these are the things. Yeah. These are things that like to hide and wait in dark forests and eat things that aren't supposed to be there when they are. So,
Do they have
yeah. What was
Okay.
that?
do they have a name that Keith or that Kevin would know?
They would probably be referred to in at least that area as flurries.
Cool. Not that we know that, but I'm just curious.
Yeah. Stefan would have like heard about flurries before. Not to be confused with furries, which are probably scary for a slightly different reason.
And almost for sure in this world. Like, there's a bunch of them, I am positive.
There's a whole little spot for them. In fact, they do exist. And once tabaxis started coming out, it was only a matter of time before there was a whole. And I mean, they're cool in this context. I'm not going to be going to a convention anytime soon. So yeah, that is what you would kind of know if you think fast enough to have that thought process. Oh, actually, Thea, with you being tied in with Dream, I should let you roll that too. Yeah. Yeah, like you haven't had the history back here yet, but like you would have tie-ins with Nightmare.
Okay. Is that insight or perception?
I would say for you, history or insight.
Okay. Mm, 13?
13? So you would be familiar with these from having some specific nightmares requested. These are kind of similar to nightmares that have been inspired by some of those same stories. So, might not be quite your same depiction, but close enough to be recognizable. And for our 13 and our 15, you would know that they can use their offshoots, their kind of root tentacles, to throw things. They are known for throwing and crushing prey, as well as having a vicious bite. So you have a little bit of knowledge in that. And I will let you tell me how you are arranging yourselves around these guys.
Well, I would like to be, since I've already gotten my wings out for the day, I would like to be in the air a little bit.
Is anybody else catching this, or
Hearing him.
anybody else?
Oh, do I need to speak louder? Is that?
Yeah, your volume is pretty low.
I think it may be just the angle that you were at, or something, like the mic wasn't picking you up quite right. It just seemed mumbled.
Yeah, let me see if I can turn up my gain a little bit. But, okay, that's already all the way up. Okay, well, I will just speak up then. Forward. Okay. I would like to be in the air a little bit. I want to be as close to the front of the group as I can manage, but
So almost facing them, but high.
Mhm.
Okay. So I'm going to draw myself a little diagram so I know where folks are.
And I was like just coming into my extreme lightning launcher range, which actually puts me about 300 feet out. Coming hard, but you know,
I mean,
I'm
you'll
not
be in
nearly
range
as fast as
for
the rest of the cheetah people and everybody else.
Well,
Yeah.
you're as fast as I am.
Paul's faster as a gnome than he is as a cheetah.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah, Paul moves like 20 feet further.
He's a bit absurd. Okay. Thea, what range are you looking at? You're gonna stay spellcasting?
Yeah, I'm gonna start out at about 120.
Okay. So you're bridging that gap. Eden is from above. Paul, you're getting right up on one?
Yeah, you know what Paul wants to be.
Yep. Right in the middle of it. Probably stabbing genitals if he can figure out what they are.
Paul's going for the orbs. It doesn't matter which ones.
Okay, do I have all of you? Okay, so let's see. I think Ren is going to be putting himself on the other side here. And Eric is going to be... I think he's going to be trying to bridge that distance up to where Paul is. So we've got another somewhat melee person, but he's readying spells. Okay. Eric. All right, everybody, roll me your initiative. That word, the thing that tells us
That
what order we're
word
going
that I
in.
forgot last time we played.
You're contagious. How dare you?
I know, right?
Now, remind me, one level of exhaustion in 5e means ability checks are a disadvantage, right?
I believe so. I should
And if-
lay that flat.
Yeah, and so if ability checks are disadvantaged, that means I'm disadvantaged on initiative.
What do you have exhaustion? I mean, I know we fought a little bit, but
'Cause
you were healed up.
I went through an episode of PTSD and haven't had a long rest.
Yep. Yep. He's hurting.
Okay.
Let
So-
me find it. Conditions.
I don't think it messes with your attack. I think the first level is just your
Yeah, it's just
toes.
Ability
Yeah, it's
check.
disadvantage on your ability checks.
okay. All right, I got an 8.
Next level, the next level of exhaustion, your speed gets halved.
That won't be a problem for me.
He'd still be faster than all of us.
Probably.
Okay. Thea, what you got?
12.
12 for Thea. And Eden?
+5. So
Plus?
6.
Oh, 6? Ow.
Yeah.
Man. Stefan.
16.
16. Yay! Okay. Finn? Okay. And then we've got the baddies have oh, they don't actually get a plus. Okay, that's nice. And Ren has so much. Oh, I forgot. I've got the group of Renethri I gotta roll for too. Oh, that's I mean, it's better than Paul and Eden.
How do you spell Renethri?
R-E-N. Who?
No, good. Go ahead.
Oh, R-E-N-E-T-H-R-I. It's hard to spell things when I'm not writing them. Like, where am I in the word right now?
I just put them as the Ren people in my notes, and then that got really confusing when we met Ren. Like,
whose name is actually Rendali, so if that helps, you can use his actual name. Okay. So he is going to go first and get a little bit farther along in that range by shooting at one of these guys. I just threw a dice across the room without meaning to. Okay. Good. Okay. So you see with this same kind of arrow that he had used before, he draws back from close to where Thea is standing and shoots the one in front, ever so slightly in front, and teleports over to it and attempts to grab on. He is not able to actually grab on, but he is able to swing himself over to the opposite side from where you guys are running at him, safely without eating the ground too hard. So it does kind of let out a pretty gnarly shriek that makes all of you recoil a bit, but it doesn't actually do psychic damage. And that brings us to Teffin.
All right. Well, I am going to continue trying to close the gap running, so I'm going to close 35 feet to 265. I am still at long range, so disadvantage with this lightning launcher attack. That one was cocked. But I'm going to wind up with a 19 to hit.
That will in fact hit. And you're shooting for the first one? Sorry.
Yeah, shooting for the first one.
Okay.
So it'll be 17 points of lightning damage.
17. Okay.
No, 7. Did I say 17? I
Oh.
meant 7.
I might have just heard it wrong. No. 7. All right.
And then second blast coming in. That natural 20 would have been super nice, but instead, 16 to hit.
16. I do believe also hits. Sorry, I'm flipping between things here.
No, that's fine.
16 does hit.
All right. For 9 points of lightning damage.
Oh, good deal. It's almost as weird as it looks to have this thing that's legs are mostly odd, twisted tangles of like root and non-organic and, to rear back like a horse. It does as this happens, which makes Ren glad that he's not on its back. Good. So that brings us to our Eric, who is going to... Yeah, I think he's going to cast a spell as he continues to run forward. And there is going to be a whirlwind that forms around... Oh, wow. Okay, so he shoots at the third one with his spell, and they save against it with a nat 20. That sucks.
Oh man, I hope she does start rolling. Next one,
They're all good this
being
one.
on fire. It's never good for us.
Did you get all your hit points back, or are you still down?
I got most of the hit points back. Still down a little bit.
It is not restrained. Okay. It looks really cool for just a minute as like this dust devil looking thing starts forming around this third creature. But it almost like roots itself into the ground for a moment. And starts to pull itself up from the roots and reroot itself. So it slows it down just a little bit, but it's able to get out of the area of effect pretty easily. Okay. And... bad guys. Oh, okay. So, our first fellow is going to turn to Ren and take a huge bite out of his shoulder with a nat 20.
Rude.
And like just absolutely chomps down on his shoulder, then turns around with a tentacle attack, wrapping a root around him and squeezing. You see him struggling to try and pull his sword out to attack it. And then he can't slam right now, so we're gonna... Oh, actually he can. It's a third attack. Not used. No, that takes too much action. So he now has Ren just tied up in this. The other one is going to attack Paul, who is right at it. That's the one with the orb. Because it would be slightly behind and a little bit in front the direction you guys are running. Unless you were shooting specifically for the first one, that would be the one that you would get to first.
Just whichever one has the orb. That's the one that I'm...
Okay, that was the one you were going for? Okay,
Yeah,
that
that's what we're
one
trying to get, so.
does a... What do I have plus-wise? Ooh, yes. This is going to hit. It is not going to do nat 20 damage, though. So we've got...
Did I rage already, or did I...
I think you did. I could be wrong, but if you would have, we can say that.
I mean...
I don't remember.
Once I'm in melee range, like I'm raging, obviously, but like I don't want to... You know what? I'll take full damage on this one. I'll rage in the turn.
Okay. So you've got... That's going to end up being 7 plus 4, so 11 points on the bite. And then... Uh-oh, gotta sneeze, sorry. Excuse me. Pardon me.
6 points of sneezing damage.
6 points of sneezing damage. Oh, this one is not as good. Well, 17 probably still hits, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not super hard to hit. I'm just...
Yeah, you just have 5,000 points. Okay. So that is going to be 5 points of bludgeoning. You are small, so you are now Because you, yeah, this is a little OP for where we are here. So, go ahead and roll me a grapple check.
Okay. And that's just my athletics, right?
Athletics or acrobatics, yeah. So for
Is
yours, it would
Is
be,
this a saving throw or is this an ability check?
it's an opposed grapple. So you're rolling against theirs.
So an ability check? So
Yeah.
disadvantage?
Yeah. But you're really
Well,
strong.
I rolled really good both of those. So
Oh,
I did
yay.
roll a nat 20, but unfortunately that doesn't work. So I rolled a 22 non-natural. Or no, nat
Well,
20.
you still beat it then, so you are not grappled. You take that little bit of damage, extra damage, but you are not grappled.
Okay.
And then the other one turns around and you see it's not close enough to Eric to hit him. It associates what just happened with the Renethri group behind it.
Okay.
So it hauls off and slams his tentacles into that group. Let's see. And two of them are lifted up and thrown backwards. Another one is grappled. Okay. And that brings us to Thea.
So there's one that just took a bite out of Rin, one that's fighting Paul, and then the third one just hit the Renethri people.
Yeah, and that one's farther back.
Which one has the orb?
The orb is the second one where Paul is.
Paul is. Okay. All right. I will. Am I within 120 feet of the one that Paul is fighting?
Yes.
Okay. I will Eldritch Blast him.
Yeah.
Eldritch Blast.
Eldritch Blast.
That is a 28 for one of them and a 14 for the other.
The 14 is the button, so both of them hit.
Yeah, buddy. And that is 7, 17, 20, 22 points of damage.
Yeah, very nice, very nice.
Damage. And then I'll just use the rest of my 30 feet of movement just to move closer in. I want to stay in spell range distance, but I'll move in another 30 feet.
So you're still keeping like a kind of 90-foot gap there for safety's sake?
Yes, for safety.
Okay. Cool. And Tevin, you moved farther up, right, too?
Yes, I did.
I thought so. I'm moving my little map pieces here so I can remember since there are a lot of folks there. Okay, the Renethri are going to go next. Let's see. The one that is grappled does manage to escape, although you do see that it looks, well, I mean, actually, you wouldn't see this. He takes some extra poison damage from that grapple. You guys are a little too occupied to probably be noticing all the details here. One of these is a nat 20. So it slams his sword into that third one. And all of them hit, so another stands back and casts a spell that seems to create a lot of like thorny vines to come up and start to shred at the bark of the other creature. And then one closes that distance and attacks it with an axe. Okay. Paul.
The thing that has the orb, how is it holding the orb? Is it like in its jaws? Is it like holding it with like a hand or like a claw or
So, you've seen the picture that I posted before?
well, when you posted it,
Yeah.
2 months ago.
It's still in chat, not too terribly far back. It has pincers in the front, and it has the orb sitting in the pincers with a little one of the tentacles kind of wrapped around it to stabilize it. So it still has access to its mouth, but it's a little bit more stabilized between the pincers and the
Okay.
yeah.
And how far? Yeah. So how far up is that from me in terms of distance? Like, is it like a couple feet? Is he like 10, 15, 20 feet taller than like, I'm just trying to get an idea about whether I can make the jump.
Well, these things are quite long. I would say that they're about 10 feet tall.
Okay. So 10 feet tall. So 8 feet worth of jumping height. Would that get me close enough to the orb where I could like make a strike at the orb?
I think so.
Okay. Because I'm in full running towards this guy, I have the ability to make a jump into the air of feet equal to 3 plus my strength modifier, which gives me 8 feet to jump. So I'm going to jump, and I'm taking arboretum and flat side. I am smacking that orb as hard as I can to get it out of the jaws of this creature.
Swinging it like a baseball bat.
Yeah, I'm just knocking
Bada. Okay, go for it.
out of this orb. So, and I'm going to do this great weapon master. So, oh, by the way, I'm raging now officially.
That does make sense.
So, all right. It's a good thing I did that because I rolled a nat 1 on one of those. That would be that's an 18 to hit the orb.
That does hit.
Okay. I'm not specifically trying to do damage. I'm just trying to use enough force to knock it out of this thing's control. So as the DM, you tell me how you want me to, like, what would you like me to do to succeed or fail?
So that is going to depend on the amount of damage. When you told me your plan, I have now created an amount of damage that needs to be done to break it free of that like little tentacle pincer grip.
Perfect.
And so you will accumulate your first part of your damage in that area to knock it free.
Okay. So I've got, all right, so that's 21. That is 30 points of damage.
Ooh. Very nice.
Yeah, that
okay.
great weapon master's pretty nasty.
So I had 25 in there. So you manage to shear the tentacle that is holding it into that pincer grip more stably. You shear that through. And it begins to fall to the ground. Well done. Do you have other attacks on top of that, or is that the...
I do have an extra attack. For my extra attack, can I just blast kick this thing as far away from these things as I possibly can?
I'll allow it.
Okay. All right. So that is I'm just using my strength modifier, so a 16 for a kick.
Yeah, I think that's probably a pretty solid kick.
Okay.
It's not nearly as hard to hit as a moving target would be, like, with all of these tentacles swarming around and everything. So I'd say that's probably solid hit.
Just give full force. I'm blasting that sucker like full soccer ball goalkeeper to the other end of the field kick. And then if I still have my movement, does jumping take my movement?
I think so.
Okay, because then I'm going to use my bonus action to dash with my eagle totem, and I'm going to dash after the ball.
Awesome.
with 35 feet of movement. Or after the
So,
orb.
so Thea, you see a bunch of things happen all at once. You've got like gnome jumping into the air, attacking this thing's mouth. You see the orb drop. You see Paul kick it towards you. And then you see Paul now also running towards you. It's not actually your turn yet, but you are the one who he is actively running at. Because like the ball is being kicked at you effectively. Let's see. Ren first. Sorry. Oh dear. And Ren does not successfully break that grapple. Yep. So let's see.
Got excited playing with the new like AI thing.
Oh, yeah.
That's legit.
What was that?
So Reagan's excited about the Messenger's new artificial intelligence image creator.
Well, I saw the picture of Paul, and it's the first time I looked at it, and so I got excited, and I made it.
My phone has an app.
Sweet.
Oh,
Okay. So you guys see, well, I guess you don't really see it. Ren, anybody who happens to see him, Ren is not looking particularly well right this second. But he does let out a guttural, almost raging yell. You would kind of think it came from a barbarian, except Ren's definitely not that. And he begins to be wreathed in shadow. But that is all he can do right now. So that doesn't matter all that much. Teffin.
Okay, so the creature that just dropped the ball, I guess, I'm going to move forward. So I'm now 230 feet out. I am still in my long range because people were fast. But I'm going to attack the one that was that just dropped the ball. And 24 to hit.
That will definitely hit.
For 9 points of lightning damage.
Going to the one that dropped the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And second attack on the same target. 14. I'm thinking 14 is not going to hit.
That is the button.
Oh, that is the button? Okay. So 14 will hit for an additional 9 points of lightning damage. So 18 points total.
18. Nice. That one's starting to look pretty rough. Like not on its last legs by any means, but it has taken a good chunk of damage. Good job. Okay. Their turn. Okay. What we got? Oh, 2 of them suck at life. All right.
While you're taking their turn, Danny, just so you are aware, the one that I did attack would have gotten an attack of opportunity on me when I ran away from it.
Thank you.
You do have to take that at disadvantage because of my eagle totem, but you do get the attack.
Didn't you also do your reckless attack, though?
My what?
Reckless?
Reckless?
Oh, yes. So
just cancels
it
out.
would be just a clean roll. You're right, yeah.
Well, that works to its advantage because the first one was a 19 and the second one was a 3. So it does hit on that. That's going to be a tentacle hit of... Let's see. So that's going to end up being 11 points of bludgeoning.
Okay.
Halved with your rage. But I am going to need you to make an opposed grapple. It did not roll high, so we'll see.
Stays there. 14.
14? Okay, it beat you by 1 point. So as he's running away, you see this tentacle and then pick him up. So his little feet are still kicking as though he's running, and he's not quite sure why he's not going anywhere. And because of that, you're going to take... Oh, well, that was a really low roll. You'll take 2 extra points of poison damage. As you feel these, like, thorns digging into you and being all poisonous and stuff. Okay. So, the one that has Ren grappled, just absolutely hauls off and bites him. It is not pretty.
Wait, it's biting him again?
Yep. I mean, it has it right there, so really easy to just... You seem confused.
Is this back to, like, were they early on?
It's back to their turn. They move all in one turn.
Okay. Wasn't I right after Paul?
Yeah, but Paul got an opportunity attack that I didn't cover. That's what that was. Yeah. And then that tentacle is also going to... Oh, it's going to smash him too. But he is able to apparently, like, soften that blow as it tries to smack him into the ground. So he takes half of the damage. This thing does not like Ren, which is fair because the attacks that he made on it, like, it did hurt before he got all wrapped up in awful. And then let's see. One of these is a nat 1, so the one that's attacking the Renethri is too distracted by too many things and is not very effective. This other one... Paul's. Paul... It is going to... Yeah, it's going to chompy chomp. Rather successfully. Let's see. Oh, I say that, but then I rolled a 1 for the damage, so that's only going to be 5 points on that.
Is that piercing damage?
Yeah, that's piercing.
Okay.
And then it is going to try to smack you into the ground. It will succeed.
I feel like it should take poison damage for trying to bite me. Because I'm a disgusting, dirty gnome.
Oh, it should take
Yeah.
poison damage.
You go very much longer without a shower. I might consider entertaining that idea. So I'm going to have you... This is going to be an opposed grapple here as well to see if you can soften the blow of this smacking you into the ground. That was kind of a crappy roll, so you probably will.
Natural 1.
Well, never mind then. So
Yeah, disadvantage on the...
it ain't no joke.
It's not great.
So it's like smacks you down, and that's going to end up being... Oh, that's hefty. That's hefty. That's 12 points of bludgeoning as it smacks you into the ground, which halved. Because rage. Okay. That's them.
Rage. Almost a
And...
half.
Oh, geez. The Renethri all just rolled so bad. Let me see if I can break that grapple. Okay. The Renethri does, like, the one that was grappled does break the grapple. All of their attacks fail as they try to corner this thing, and it's you get the vibes of, like, the mammoths on the cave paintings that have all of the guys around them with pokey sticks. That is very much what this vibe is. So they're like poking and prodding, but mainly missing. One of them lands a really, really solid hit right in the middle of the thing.
Like, you guys suck at this.
A bit.
Hit harder.
One of them is distracted by seeing that the orb has flown and is also like making his way towards the orb too. So one of them with his movement's going to break off from that. And he is out of melee. out of that direct melee range, so that's not an opportunity to attack. Paul, back to you.
Am I still grappled? Or did he like, slam me into the ground and the stone was like letting me go?
So when it smacked you into the ground, it still has you right now.
Okay.
So it's like meat crayoning you into the ground as best it can.
Okay. I am going to. I guess my question is, in order, like, do I have the ability to attack with how it has me, or do I need to like do I need to untangle myself before I would have that opportunity? Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Unless you have a creative way to attack, a traditional melee attack you would have to free yourself for. If
Okay,
you got
then-
something else you want to throw at it, I mean, I might be amicable, but it's going to depend on what you give me to work with there.
I mean, nothing that really comes to mind. So, all right, yeah, I'm gonna just try to break free from the sucker.
You could spit in his face. I bet you don't brush your teeth either.
Probably not. All right. Okay. That is a 21.
You just beat it. So you are now ungrappled. Mazel
Okay.
tov.
As an ungrappled person now, I'm going to use my movement to dash, jump, run towards the orb. I'm going to use my my bonus action to dash and my eagle totem dash to get to the orb as fast as I can. So, and it does get an opportunity attack on me, but this time it will be at disadvantage because I didn't do reckless attack on it.
Gotcha. And oh yeah, it does not hit. It swings at you with its tentacle to try and bat at you, and just straight up whiffs the air. It thinks you're much taller than you actually are. You gather that its sensibilities about like how tall a gnome is are a little bit wonky.
Okay. About how far away is the orb from me once I break free?
Thea, how far out are you standing?
I think I did about 90 feet
90?
out.
I would say you're probably about like how far is a football field? Is that like
300
It's
yards.
100 yards, 300 feet, which is where I was. At the
Okay.
start, I have closed to 230 feet at this point.
Okay. So it sails just over Thea's head.
Okay. I will use all my speed, which is a total of 30, 60, 90, 105 feet of movement.
You can get it. Yep. You
just-
are able to like
And
match speed with it.
Yeah, and I'm going to try to catch the orb and get it away from these things.
Okay.
That is very tactical, Paul.
Paul used to play sports.
So this one is going to be with the hand-eye coordination involved with this. I'm going to say that this is more of an acrobatics than an athletics.
Okay, not my strong suit, but that's okay. Oh, then I'm at disadvantage.
Let's see how it goes.
Oh no! That'd be a 4.
Hey, I'm open. It does as it hits the ground behind you, Thea. It's a little bit alarming, kind of makes you jump. You could swear that Paul's gonna catch it, and then like he's a good solid like 15 feet off from where his mark actually is, and this thing is putting off so much heat and some weird magical aura that it has embedded itself now about like 3 feet into the ground, and seems to be like smoking. So that's what you see. Let's see. Well done, Paul. Good turn. And Eden.
Okay. So I'm trying to get a picture now of where they are. So we've had number 2 broke off to the side to go. How far did it get?
So it is still close to the first one. So for like AoE spells and things like that, it would be an easy AoE. It's probably only like maybe 10 feet off from the other one. They're still in pretty close proximity. And then the other one is still about 30-ish feet behind.
Okay. So they're in a triangle.
Yeah.
So if this is number 1 and this is number 2 and this is number 3, I am trying to go like right here between 1 and 2.
Okay.
I want to try to land there. And I'm going to do something that I hope is... So if you look at the chat, I will do my best to describe it. Think dragon-sized fire spider monster with like 30 hands. So
Awesome.
I'm going to cast Major Image, and that is going to be... So I'm going to land, and then this thing is going to be like above me. And it's going to start moving. So it is going to act as though it is constantly swinging some sort of a weapon at each of the things. So at 1 and 2, and Major Image allows me to put off heat. Not enough to do damage, but it is going to be searing hot as it swings at them and misses. And it is fast, but it is not accurate for the illusion's sake, because if it hits them, they'll realize, right? So it's hitting really fast, and it is hot, and it is also screeching. So this giant fire spider creature is like swinging all kinds of, and they're coming down fast, all around them. So I am trying to catch everybody's attention
Great.
with this thing.
Awesome. So is the goal to create the fear condition or to distract?
A little bit of both. Like his biggest goal is if he can get them to focus on this thing, because it is the most immediate threat, especially if they're sort of doing the plant thing. I figured the fire was the way to go. So this is he is trying to make this the biggest threat that is around, and hopefully to distract from the ball that Paul is going after, but also so that they're no longer attacking other people, because hopefully they're going to be trying to get.
What's your spell save DC?
17.
Well, all three of these guys just failed this miserably then. So they are all positive, like literally not a single double digit in that whole batch. So they see this giant spider monster and are now adequately freaked out. Let me see. Look up the fear condition, see if that would apply well to this.
It also,
It won't.
unfortunately, probably would be pretty terrifying to the Renethri too, because
Yep.
it is as real looking as could be.
Yep, let me roll for them. One guy passed it. Everybody else.
Now, that being said, at least according to the rules, to be able to see through it, they have to make an active check. So it is like an action to see through the illusion.
Yes, he does not see through it, but he is the one guy who's not scared of it. Like, bring it on! Honorable death! Yeah. So that just happened. And now all of the bad guys are adequately disrupted. And in this spell, does this create the frightened condition?
It does not traditionally, no.
Okay, let me see. Okay, I feel like my nat 1 on that one should probably at least have the frightened condition. The other The other two are more distracted by it and think that it is going to be the target. So that makes sense to me. Well
It's
done.
also for because of the size of the spell. It is this thing is 20 feet tall,
Nice.
but its
Good
arms
deal.
are super long, which is how it's swinging down towards them.
Okay. Is that your whole thing for
Yeah.
right now? Okay. Okay, so we've got. Jeez, man. I cannot roll for Ren to save my life. He's such a bamf, and he's rolling all of my nat ones. He's looking real rough. So he is still grappled and still cannot do anything. So Taffin. Oh, I missed Eric somewhere. That's okay. I'll catch him on the next time. He's just an NPC. It's fine.
Okay. So, moving forward. So, I am now under 200 feet. Yay.
Oh, okay, so this is the second round.
Yes.
Okay.
And we're still seeing the creatures. Neither of them have been taken down yet, right?
No, the one that was carrying the orb looks like he is like roughly past half. Like
Okay.
you can tell that he is taken more than half of his damage
So I'm
threshold.
gonna go after that one, as before.
Okay.
23.
23 will definitely hit.
So keep. How close are you now?
195 feet. I mean, from where they were at the start, I'm sure they've moved too.
Yeah. So this is your third round, yeah?
This is third
Like
round,
once,
yeah.
twice, and third. Okay.
So
Yeah.
So how far have
Okay.
they
No,
moved?
that was my first action, so I was just trying to figure out where I was supposed to be.
Okay, so the first attack is going to deal 8 points of lightning damage.
Okay.
And I may need to rejigger my numbers here. Oh. And the second one is going to miss. I'm not even
Okay.
going to ask. I know that one's going to miss. How far have they moved? How far have the creatures moved?
So they've been, well,
Have they been
not
moving?
very far, because you've kind of all distracted them from their movement, and now the orb that is their goal has been hijacked.
Right.
So they have now stopped moving. They probably got like another 15 feet forward, which to you guys would have been to the side.
Okay.
Yeah, so
So
they are not much farther.
Okay, so it won't have mattered much to my
Nah.
range. We'll just
Yeah.
say my ranges are
So Eden,
what I'm saying.
did I fully miss you on the first go round?
I think that's what it is. Yeah, it's fine now.
I mean, I don't mind throwing you in you a pat throwing you in an extra round. I think I got weirded on the Eric thing. I think I saw E and thought Eric when it was actually you. So, yeah. So if you have
No,
something else cool you want to do, feel free.
No, it's have to maintain concentration. So I think
Never
we're good.
mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless they try to like approach the base of this thing, which is where I'm standing, then I'll just be here.
Well, it is the baddie's turn, and one of them is frightened. The other two are not so much. So the one can't do anything because it would be moving closer. Excuse me, sorry. Ugh. I sneezed that thought out. One moment. Okay, I remember what I was thinking now. So we've got. So the frightened one is going to strike out at the Renethri. It is going to land one solid bite to one of them. But the other one, because of the disadvantage, will miss. The one with Ren is too distracted to actually effectively squish Ren, which is nice, but he does still take that poison damage. And then the not so frightened one is going to move towards the spider and try. Let's see, you've got a little bit of space there. It could potentially get to it. So it is going to attempt an attack.
The spider's leg will move out of the way.
Awesome. How did are there rules in that spell for such things, or is it just kind of a?
Yeah, kind of. So, as long as you're, so it continues to move. I can move it to any spot within range. If I want to move it to a different spot, like to have it walk away, I can do that, but that's only with an action. Otherwise, it just maintains its appearance so that it appears natural to the image.
Okay. So yeah, it still is none the wiser of this problem. Good deal. Thea.
Okay. So the one that had the orb is now distracted by the spider image guy. And then the one that has Ren is also focused on him.
Yeah, and that one looks almost like it's sort of frozen in fear. It looks like it's really freaking out.
Okay. And Paul is on the ground close to the orb. How far am I from? I know the orb's like in the ground, but how far am I from the orb?
You're probably only like 10 feet from it.
Okay. And how far am I from the two? I'm so sorry. It's just hard
You're
to
fine.
see in my head.
Yeah,
How
one of
far
these
am I-
days I'm going to get good at Foundry and I can actually like have that positioned for you.
No worries. This is what I do when I'm reading my books too. I'm like where am I at? So
Draw diagrams.
So how far away am I from the two nightmare creatures that are looking at the spider?
So at this point, you are probably like the two that are closest together there in front of you. They're probably, I don't think you've moved forward since 90 feet.
Not since that was my last turn.
Yeah, so you're still about the same distance from them.
Oh, 90 feet from them. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, okay. My brain, I remember how this works now. Okay. All right, I want to try to do something cool because I've had the spell for a while. I'm going to move up 30 more feet, my full movement, which should get me within 60 feet of the one that has Rin.
Hey.
And I will hex him and give him disadvantage on charisma saving throws. And then I am going to
give Ren disadvantage on saving throws. Let's just kill Ren now.
not Rin.
Murder him.
He
I'm
survived
going to
so much
Rin.
worse.
Big reveal. She's the big baddie.
I'm
The
the
guy.
I'm going to cast Banishment.
Haha, very nice.
So he has to make a charisma saving throw at disadvantage.
Very, very nice. Okay, charisma save should be kind of terrible. They are not charismatic. Oh, open. Come on. Let me... Yeah, no. You said at disadvantage?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, that's very bad. I rolled a 4 and it has a -2, so that is a large fail. You see Ren drop. It's just like, oh, thank God. Like, finally start working to shake it off. Well done. Ren was about to, or Eric was about to try something vaguely similar, probably with less lasting effect. Well played. Well played.
Thank you.
Good.
chest right there.
Now, it says if the target is native to a different plane of existence than the one you're on, the target is banished with a faint popping noise, re-entering its home plane. So I have to hold this for a minute. If he's native to a different plane, then he's just sent back home. But if he's not, after a minute, he will reappear.
Okay.
But I'm just trying to give time to get Ren and like Eric out of there, and we can kind of draw the line back at the orb. Is what I'm trying to get
Nice.
everybody to close in around the orb.
Nice. I like it. That's fun. Okay, so that's that one.
I've had that
And
spell so long. I've been waiting to use it.
That was a good use.
and then this is going to be different. Okay, so that's going to be a melee attack. Okay, so Eric is going to run forward. I'm just going to put him in here so that it's not up against Eden, so I won't get him confused. He's going to run into the one that had the orb and strike at it. It does a good fair bit of damage there. However, it looks like he sets off a spell effect that does not actually take hold. So that is going to do some damage. That one's looking pretty dang bad now. Okay. And the Renethri get to do something. Let's see. Well, 4 of them are frightened. They are going to at least try to take advantage of the fact that that other monster is distracted now. But they also have disadvantage. And none of them hit. The one that doesn't is
So
going
helpful, these
to...
guys.
What's that?
I said they're just so helpful. These
Man,
guys.
they're trying so hard. They lost a couple of the more helpful ones already. Oh, that one actually. That one can do something. Okay. So that one you see just like let loose an eruption of thunder that shakes apart some of the bark off of this one. It is kind of the friend that is grappled does not love this. But take one for the team. So that's gonna be that. Okay. And that brings us to Paul.
Okay. So, question for you, Danny. Obviously, the orb is magical. Now, with magical items in the way you have the game, are magical items like susceptible to like damage, or does it take like magical means to damage items?
Depends on the magic item. With this one, it's definitely going to require magical force to damage it.
Okay. Because here's what Paul is thinking about doing. Paul is going to pull off his cheetah cloak. He's going to wrap this orb up in the cheetah cloak. And then he's going to like wrap it up, like basically take the cheetah cloak and kind of like wrap it around it and tie it. And then I want to take my immovable rod and shove it like in there, tied to the cheetah cloak, and click that sucker down so it can't be moved unless Paul unclicks the cheetah cloak. So that's what Paul wants to do for his entire action.
Dig it. Yeah, it's not gonna. It won't damage the thing in
I'm
that
more
sense.
worried about if the cloak is going to be damaged. But I think under the circumstances, it's worth the risk to try to keep it out of the hands of whatever these creatures are.
It might be minorly damaged, but it shouldn't be something that's A, not fixable, or B, it's not going to end the enchantment on the item.
Okay.
It would
So,
be a
yeah.
rip in the fabric, but the fabric would still be just as enchanted. So
Well, Paul's risking it regardless of what ends up happening. But my thought process is like they wouldn't be able to damage the cloak to get it off of it because it's a magical item. And so the fact that it's a magical item covering a magical item and pinned down by a magical item would make it pretty much impossible for anything to get it and move it.
fair.
So,
Roll me evens or odds. We'll see if it does any. So I'm gonna say evens. It's gonna be slightly damaged. Odds, no.
evens, slightly damaged.
Okay. Still
So-
functional, but yeah, it'll be a little bit. It'll take a little wear and tear there. But I like
Yeah.
the.
All my action to just get that sucker so it is safe and I don't have to worry about it anymore. I can fight now.
I think that you are in a good spot for that. Excellent. Okay, Eden, with
Okay.
your puppeting of the monster.
Yeah, so we're gonna do some stage combat-y stuff. So the spider is going to like lean down next to this. I guess that would be number one. Creature number one.
Yes.
That was swinging at it. So it's gonna like lean a little bit closer, not within range because I don't want him to be able to actually hit it. But it's just gonna roar right in his face. At the same time, it is going to swing at me, and I'm going to sort of deflect it. But I'm gonna sort of fall back towards this creature. The idea, I want him sort of distracted by the big roaring and swinging at it. But at the same time, I am trying to move right up into melee with this thing under the guise that I'm also getting attacked by the giant spider creature. And then immediately, as soon as I'm actually like right up next to it, he's gonna swing at it.
For it. I love it.
Oh, you're gonna sneeze.
Pineapple, pineapple, pineapple. I haven't used this in a while.
I'm contagious, sorry.
Okay, so the first hit, or the first attack rather, is going to be at 24 to hit.
That will certainly hit.
Okay, and then the next one's only a 14.
14. Okay. So the 14 is still the button, so both of them hit. Oh, and this isn't the first one, this is the second one that has taken so much damage. The
Okay.
first one is now Banished.
Right, that's right.
Sure, come here. Well, right.
Okay, so the first hit is what is that? Oh, yes. Okay. Sorry, I haven't looked at this character sheet in a while, and I need to redo it because it's a little messy.
I need to redo my Monday one as well.
Okay, no, that's it. So the first attack will do 11 points of damage.
Nice. It's almost there.
Jeez, and the next one only does 9.
That is actually exactly the amount that you needed. What do you want it to look like?
So Eden doesn't touch it. What's gonna happen is like Eden is he's actually doing the killing, but it's gonna be like as he's trying to fend off the spider monster. But then the spider monster is going to swing its giant axe and just it actually doesn't like do anything necessarily to it. But as far as what everybody else can see, this thing just gets like killed by the axe. And
Nice.
I'm going to have that join the illusion where there's just a bloody pile.
The Renethri scream, the monster shrieks, all of the screaming. All of the screaming. I like it. Very nice. This also means Ren actually gets to do something this turn. Thankfully, he has multiple things that he can do, because I rolled a nat 1 for his first
Oh.
action. I don't know what it is. He is getting all ones this time. He's
Be like,
distracted.
you are worthless.
He, he's so powerful. He just can't roll to save his life tonight. Okay.
Feel that.
So he runs, like, kind of does when he realizes that the other one is falling. As it is falling, he runs and slides under the whole illusion. The thing as it's falling, it's like a fast sliding into home towards the third one that's still attacking the Renethri. And as he slides, he has out a blade that he's still wreathed in kind of like a dark energy from when he was trying to build that up before for part of his eventual escape plan. And sideways, like, stabs into this other creature. Does a significant chunk of damage. Does not mess with the illusion at all because he just acted like he slid between its legs.
It is
So
very warm to him, like scorching hot. But
he's
not
been
enough to
in
do
worse
damage.
situations. Like, lobs off like almost an entire leg of this creature with that blow.
This is like the most impressive image you've ever thrown up, right? Like this is like pretty.
Aside, the most impressive active one, yeah.
Okay.
Because there's been some in his storytelling that were as big and like as intricate, but none of them were interacting with people as much.
Sure.
So,
Nice. And there's some kind of a darkness shroud that happens in that space that seems like it is casting an odd shadow over that third creature, but he doesn't get to play with that until next time, if he even lives that long. Teffin, there is one more still on the field.
All right. Well, I'm gonna move forward a little bit more, fast as my little legs can carry me.
Your little liquid legs.
My little liquid legs. My
That's
power
it.
armor legs, actually, is what's happening. And then, so I'm at 160 feet out, and the only one that's left, going for that.
Get him!
No. 12 is not gonna hit. So, second shot is even worse. So, nope.
Oh no!
You are like Will Wheaton over here today.
It happens.
I mean, at least you actually
I mean,
did it a few
this is the
times.
first round I haven't hit anything at all.
That's okay.
And it's only because I'm so far out that I'm having to roll at disadvantage. So,
I guess that's fair.
the fact that I was able to hit anything at all is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
The fact that I haven't missed a round yet is actually pretty good.
Honestly, yes. Okay, so
Assuming it goes 2 more rounds, though, the disadvantage drops off.
we will see if it makes it 2 more rounds. Now that it is the only creature left and will be the target of everybody's attacks, he might not make it that long.
Yeah,
Okay.
not everybody's attacks.
So,
Giant fire spider, and he thought doesn't know.
right? So
That's
we are
the
gonna
plan.
do. Oh, okay. So that's gonna do some damage. So the Renethri that is still grappled is going to take a smack into the earth. There is another one nearby that is going to take a bite, and it is going to take a swing at Ren, and Ren is going to dodge it.
That is a
Very
smart move on
adeptly.
Ren's part.
Yes. He has been there, done that, got that t-shirt, and does not wish to be in that situation again. And that is all that he can do right this second. So, Thea.
How far away am I from the other guy?
This one you're a little farther off from, so probably like within the probably about 100 feet, like maybe 110.
Okay. And I want to make sure I understand because I'm holding concentration on the banishment spell. I can cast another spell as long as that one doesn't require concentration.
Correct.
Right. Okay. Then I will Eldritch Blast. Eldritch Blast his butt. Specifically his butt.
It's hard to figure out where the butt is. It's a big tangle of roots, but you can do your best.
A 26 on one and a 12 on the other.
So that the first one will definitely hit.
Okay. And that is 11 points of damage.
11 points of damage. Okay.
And then I'm going to use my movement to kind of head back towards the orb and just maybe as a free action, I'll just kind of yell out, I don't know if the other one is coming back. Just everybody be aware.
Good to know. Good to know. That does get the attention of a couple of the Renethri who are like, huh! Okay.
Might be coming back. We'll find out.
They're also a little distracted by the fire spider, other than the one guy, so, you know. Okay, so excellent. Eric.
You're not freaking out right now.
He's a friend from work.
We're level 8, right?
Yes. Yes.
That's what I am.
Like, I'm pretty sure.
I just did my math wrong somewhere and I wrote it down on my paper, so I'm fixing it now. My DC is only 16, actually, not 17.
I played 2 levels lower than we were supposed to be for like 7 sessions.
Okay,
I've
but
done that.
I am more lenient with that. Like as a DM, like I am more lenient with that than like, you know, I added extra numbers somehow.
Yeah.
I was level 5 until you were like, okay, everybody moves up to level 8. And I'm like, level 8? It's like I'm level 5.
When did that happen? All right. And Eric is going to move into scimitar range with that one and start attacking. And you can definitely tell some of the nimbleness is a genetic thing because as he runs in, like there is almost a grace and a dance to this this flurry of attacks that does bring it to one of its knees. It is not dead, but it is real close. Let's see. The Renethri. The one is finally able to break free. The other one misses in its fear. That disadvantage is not great for them. And then the other is still like working towards kind of the orb, but sees that it's not in immediate danger, so it's kind of pausing and readying an action in case the other thing like pops in again. But otherwise is just kind of looking at this daunting fire spider, thinking that the world is about to end. Paul.
So how far away is this giant fire spider?
It is currently closer to you than the third monster, moderately.
I run full speed at said fire spider, screaming at the top of my lungs, finally getting ready to fight and attack something because I've been busy trying to get this orb away, which is anathema to my, predilections as a murdering gnome. I run full speed at it, and I raged great weapon master reckless attack at this giant fire spider.
Okay, so as you swing, this one doesn't. So all of the other attacks that have been swung at this thing, it has been like dodging out of the way. For you, your axe goes clean through, does not like tug anything, but the leg that you cleave through just like bursts out with fire, and it's hot. It does not hurt you, but it is hot. The leg
full on jump with the sword, like 300 style, right into this thing's leg.
Oh yeah, and it just explodes with fire around you.
Cool. So I guess to me, I think I've just done some
It
really
looks like you're
damage.
doing something.
So I follow through with my second attack and cleave through that. When I hit the ground, turn around and go for the next leg.
I love this so much.
So you cut clean through it, and as it falls, the whole leg just lights. So it was hot before, and it feels even hotter now. But it just lights and it disintegrates in front of you.
Oh, by the way, Paul is like buck naked because the only thing he wears is that cloak. So
yep. I was gonna ask that earlier, but in my head it's been canon this whole time. Now there's just naked gnome on the battlefield.
Because it's a pretty big cloak, so Paul has the cloak on. It kind of wraps around him, but there's no cloak. So yeah, it's naked.
Yep.
Paul. So that's
but naked
my
Paul.
movement and my action, and my attacks.
Nicely done. Nicely done, Eden.
How many more of these nightmares are there?
Right now, it just is the one that looks really, really rough, but there might be another one that tries to pop back into existence. You can't quite tell.
I think it is my duty to try to stop that one. So, how far away from that one am I / the fire spider monster?
You can close the distance in a single turn. It's probably like 15, 20 feet.
Oh, perfect. It's range. Oh wait, is this concentration? I better double check before I. It's P. What does P mean? I don't know. There it is. Concentration.
Okay.
Okay, so I won't do that. But the giant spider monster and I will begin to walk. I can't actually attack, so I'm going to stay like 10 feet away, but the creature is hovering over this thing and is going to screech at it. And it will swing once or twice at Paul and me. That's my turn. And Paul is going to get a bardic inspiration.
I love that. Back up to Ren. Don't roll a 1. Oh, okay, that's much better. From pretty much underneath the thing, he shoves his sword upward into this thing's guts, if it has guts, which it kind of sort of does at least, because some of them spill out onto him. And this wreathed black energy seems to start to then like wreath around the monster. And you see like a strange light breaking through these cracks that are forming as it effectively like Thanos snap dusts down into ash. And gets sort of blown away by the breeze that this giant, like, weird magic storm anomaly over to the side of you guys is still putting out. So, yes, that one is now down. And now there are no more evildoers on the field other than Edens. Which the Renethri are now starting to turn their focus onto. But Taffin ends up being the next in the round. We will only be in initiative, though, should that thing pop back in. But where it's from is a little bit of a different situation, so I'm going to roll a percentile and see if it does or not.
Well, with no, targets for me to worry about, I'm just gonna use my movement and my action to dash.
Can I? Oh, okay. You're gonna use your action to dash. Never mind.
Yep. Which
So
actually will put me within non disadvantage range if the thing pops back in.
Nice. There you go.
Okay, and then would it be all right if free action for like yelling?
Sure.
Okay, so I'm just gonna scream out towards the Dorothy, like, leave it to the gnome! He's the only one who can hurt it! Fort is enchanted! And then I'm going to pretend to block somewhere, but like I am trying to make this fight as epic as possible for Paul.
That's amazing.
What a
And
good friend.
I love it so much. So you each have the capacity if you want to do like a couple more things before that minute is up. I won't necessarily make you take that in turn. Is there anything cool that you want to do for the next just few seconds of this?
Warm up a spell or anything like that?
Yeah, let me see here.
I will prepare to have my monsters start swinging if this thing reappears to, be the distraction or whatever. But aside from that, I don't have anything.
So I have fairy fire just like for being a drow. It doesn't take up a spell slot, but it is a concentration spell. So if I kind of got that ready, if this thing pops back into existence and I could hit it with fairy fire.
Yeah.
Or would that break the concentration? Because if it's going to break concentration, I don't want to do that.
Well, you've only got a few seconds to find out anyway if it's going to hold or not. So you can do all of the preparation that you need to do to have it ready quickly. We'll say. I am not going to, since you're not fully casting it yet, it is not demanding your concentration. You are preparing it. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to get around about 60 feet from where this thing disappeared. And if it pops back in, I will hit it with a fairy fire real quick.
Cool. Awesome sauce. Anybody else? Paul's fighting a spider.
During this time, I figure Paul has probably taken out legs mostly on one side of the spider. So it will drop down on that side, like its torso sort of hitting the ground there. And I'm going to provide all of the sound effects that it needs for that. And again, it's hot, and so Paul can now get at the abdomen of this thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, because you're controlling this creature and you know how Paul fights, you basically need to choreograph however you want Paul, whatever you want Paul to do, because you know enough about him to know exactly how he's going to react. So I leave your imagination to how this entire scenario plays out.
It's like the holodeck for Paul.
Basically, yeah.
I love that. That's amazing.
So he is trying to make this as cool as possible. It is very hot. There's flames everywhere. The spider is screeching. It will swing at you several times, but you were able to dodge pretty easily somehow. Yeah, like you open up its side and flames burst out, guts start spilling out, and they leave little pock marks in the ground.
You can tell that that Ren and Eric are both like gravitating towards the area where the other one popped out, just out of immediate melee if it pops back into the exact same spot. But they're watching this, and you can kind of tell. It's almost like you can see Ren sort of shoulder Eric, and like, does he not know? It's like, no, definitely not. This is a little quiet conversation going on over there. Is Teffin doing anything beyond just like closing that distance so he's closer?
No, not doing anything but getting closer.
By the percentages, the little monster, it's not such a little monster, it's kind of little by comparison to the big spider thing, does in fact pop back in.
The spider will swing at it immediately and miss. But
Of course. So you can hit it immediately with fairy fire, Thea.
He has to make a dexterity saving throw against a 17.
It fails. It does not have a bonus there.
Well, he is purple. Has a purple light around him now.
Okay. So now he's a disco flurry. So we've got that, and we will just start back at the top of the initiative there and see how that looks. Ren hits it with a really solid smacking. And you can see like a...
Everybody gets advantage.
Ooh, yeah, thank you. Let's see if I can get the 20. Nope.
Fairy fire's mean.
Yeah. So yeah, that is Ren. Teffin.
All right, gonna light it up.
Light it up.
25
That's certainly gonna hit.
for 7 points of lightning damage. And
Nice.
this round I can also, and I've forgotten this, I can actually, where did it go? I believe... Yeah, so once a turn, I can actually deal an extra 1d6 of lightning damage. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and add another 2 points on the first attack. And then the second attack is going to be a 20 to hit.
That definitely hits too.
For a total of 5 points of lightning damage.
Hey, every little bit counts. It's fine. Good deal. Excellent. All right. So, that's baddies. So it is going to turn around and haul off and hit Eric, who fails a strength save, so it wraps him up. And then it is going to... Those are the only two that are there. Yeah, so it is going to take another bite at Ren and succeed. It is kind of interesting. You have seen Ren take some massive damage, but he seems to continually stitch back together. Corestiel is having a day. Let's see, then Eric. Oh no, Thea.
Eldridge Blast. At advantage. So 24 and 28.
Yep.
And then I can 7, 8, 13 points of damage.
Very nice. So Eric, kind of two things happen at once with him. He does not want to be in the same situation Ren was. He saw that, and it did not make him happy. So he is going to. You see his eyes glow like this really bright blue, and he almost fades into something that looks a little bit incorporeal. And it's almost as if he is calling from the storm that is happening over to the far side of this clearing. And you see lightning arc from that in all of these odd, strange colors. This arc of lightning into the creature that is holding it. So he is also taking this damage, but he does manage to get himself free from that grip. It does a fair amount of damage to both of them, though, but he steps back out of the way of the grip. The Renethri, let's see. They heeding what has been told to them at this point, trepidatiously make their way around, giving a large berth of safe distance there towards the monster. And let's see. One of them launches out a spell attack that does hit and do some damage. The other, there are two others that do manage to hit with melee weapon attacks. Seeming to be kind of emboldened by how successful all of this has been going between, like, Paul single-handedly murderating this spider and this other group of people that seem to be on their side. They seem a bit emboldened by this, so they are now doing some damage and taking its legs out from underneath it. It is kind of sort of growing them back Grootishly, but not fast enough to make it as big a threat as it had been before. So that's them. Paul, you sticking with your current target?
And I mean, it's the most dangerous thing here, right? I mean,
Obviously.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, since the beatdown is happening now on this other creature, it will turn its focus all onto Paul. And it is like a wall of steel and heat and flames around you, Paul, as it's crashing around. You're dodging. It's swinging its axe, gouging out the ground.
Yeah, I'm doing full, like Yoda acrobatics, like eagle totem, like full on weaving between its remaining legs, taking slashes at it, jumping and hacking away, and just trying to take this
A little bit
thing
of parkour.
So,
well,
maybe,
parkour off of nothing.
Yeah,
because it's not there.
Fair.
Yeah, so anytime that you would touch it, it like pulls out of the way or whatever, except when you're hitting it. And then, you don't hit anything, but you're swinging straight through because you cleave right through it.
Yeah, it's like this thing is really soft, like surprisingly soft.
Just go through it like butter.
And it looks like it may be getting close to its last legs. So basically, I'm going to set up so as soon as this other creature dies, I'm going to try to set it up so that Paul can get his killing blow.
Awesome. So are you doing anything for your turn beyond?
I'm attacking this. I'm attacking this thing. Paul's dumb enough to think that it's a real danger. So,
Oh boy, Eden. What about you?
I will take 2 strikes at this creature.
Go for it.
So first one's going to miss, 13. And the next one is a 16. So we're rolling real low.
That one will at least get
Okay.
him.
So first strike misses, second one. The next one will do 12 points of piercing damage.
Nice.
You have advantage.
Oh,
Did you
yeah.
roll?
I
Yeah.
did not. I rolled
Advantage?
And shoot for the 22 on the,
Oh,
the
well,
other
that
one.
was a natural 1 to reroll on the first one. And, 19. And yeah, it doesn't make a difference because the second one hits. First one misses.
Fair enough. Alrighty. Okay. So that brings us around to...
Oh, wait. I missed. And I always forget about this part of my class because it's part of the stuff we figured out before the game ever started. Okay, so it's going to get death marked on that first miss. And it's okay. So it's going to take some extra damage as well on my hit. This one. Okay. Fine. So it'll take an extra 8 points
8 points. Okay.
from the hit with the death mark.
It's looking pretty rough. Pretty rough. Okay. Ren is slightly distracted by the fact that his kid that he didn't know about until a couple of days ago
Old ball and
has
chain.
just been in
Just now noticing that.
what?
Oh, nothing, just something.
Oh,
random.
the
Change his
names.
screen name to Old Ball and Chain.
Yep. Teffin.
All right. Well, gonna blast away again
With advantage.
with advantage. 19 to hit.
Indeed.
And adding the extra damage on this one, it takes 12 points of lightning damage. And second attack.
It's looking real rough.
Second attack, 15.
That will hit. You don't have to math it. Just tell me how you do it.
Well, 6 points, and the lightning shoots out and sort of wreathes it in this corona discharge around it, sort of washing all over it and driving into the ground and just taking it down. It sort of locks up before crashing over to the ground.
Well
Okay.
done.
And then right as it hits the ground dead, Paul gets a shot at the head of the spider creature. It sort of like falls to the side, and he gets a clean shot right across the neck of this thing. So as he swings, it cleaves right through the head, falls to the ground, and then immediately catches fire. The rest of the body also lights in a total inferno. It starts spinning up into the sky, black smoke everywhere, and the body also lights in little pieces of it. You know how if you light like a tea bag and it like flies up into the air? The little pieces of the spider start doing that, and it just flies. The whole thing disintegrates and flies off into the air where it disappears.
Well, now I want to light a tea bag because I've never done that before.
Yeah, so if you empty it and then stand it up, right at the bottom, it'll fly.
That's really cool. Huh.
And Paul after that, Paul's just there all sweaty, breathing heavy, completely naked, with this giant sword.
Some of your body hair is singed.
I don't have
Right.
probably have no more body hair at this point, to be honest. So probably completely singed off. Why didn't anybody help?
None of us could hurt it. Our weapons wouldn't touch it.
And yeah, and then with that, Paul actually, I'm gonna stab the arboretum into the ground so it like starts the thing because I'm in pain.
And you have your tree growing with the little pool at the bottom of it. Uh, I think that's the imagery that it used there. Yep. Um, well done.
That's something.
Uh, the the Renethri, like 3 of the 5, uh, look back over their shoulders, seeing like the destruction that had already been caused. That they had already put down 2 of those monsters like in pursuit, but they run to some of their fallen friends to see if there is something else that can be done. What did I just see?
Oh,
I just saw
sorry.
you put something somewhere.
It's fine. It's in the campaign shorts section. I just dropped in a thing on the tea bag.
Cool,
You
thank you.
regain 6 hit points per round for 1.
Okay.
Does it look like any of the people that they are running to still have an attachment to this life?
One of them, yes. One of them, no.
Okay, so I'm gonna book it over there, and I'm going to drop some healing from my sword into them.
If anybody needs healing, they can just come hang out by my sword. They'll get 6 points per round.
And they will be doing that once they realize what that is, and they get the unconscious one unconscious.
Paul's just laying naked in the little pool. That's the thing.
This is the closest thing to a bath he's had in weeks.
Thank God.
I love it. Ren definitely like realizing what you have, knows what this is and goes to join you and drags Eric along with. Yes, you are able to. There is a significant amount of distance there. Like they have been chasing this thing for a bit. So they wordlessly are booking it over to check. One of them now it becomes more obvious that the damage is much too much for one of them to be healed. And while they did not they were not distracted in the moment by this, the one of them that is checking on that one allows themselves to grieve with like a loud wail, and you can kind of tell by what's left that this might have been a family member, just in the similarities. The other one.
Sorry, are they too far gone for me to hit him with a spare the dying?
Remind me how spare the dying goes.
They're at 0 hit points, but like they still have to have their like death saving throws.
This has been long enough at this point that the one has already crossed over.
Okay.
And you're healing the other one?
Yeah, for 1d6 plus 3. Do you want me to roll it?
Nah, it's not really necessary at this point. So the other one has like a huge gash across his face, and you can hear this soft gurgle that lets you know that there is still breath passing, but it's barely there. And as you heal him, you can see all of that wound stitch up first. And consciousness comes back to his eyes. He looks around. Did you get it? Did you save it?
Yes.
Oh.
You should come stand over by the tree. It's like magic and stuff. It will make you feel better.
Thank you. I owe you very much. And you can tell the friends are kind of like putting in healing to him as well and whatnot. One of the others joins the one that is mourning over their loved one. the other three kind of leave them to have a little bit of space and join you guys over at the tree. Let's see. Okay. So, yeah, 3 of them are off, and 3 of them are with you. Moving towards the tree, there's definitely, like, a lot of them are limping. They look... They were kind of roughed up by the time you got there, more so now. But there is a satisfaction in knowing that the battle is over for now. And one of them turns to you to offer his thanks, and you hear an Ipsanthiaga from their language. You wouldn't know what that means, but there is...
Paul's the real hero. He got rid of the giant fireballs.
What was that? Where did that come from? I never saw it. I never saw where it came from. The one that wasn't scared of it kind of looks at you a little bit suspiciously.
Crazy.
Did you bring the evil with you?
No.
The flurries I understand, but I do not understand the other.
It's terrifying, though. The naked man is the real hero.
Does he need clothing?
I don't know if he would wear it. If I'm honest, it seems anathema to his being.
I suppose that is suitable here, although there are a lot of environmental hazards that would be helped by some measure of protection. As you get closer to the tree in the pool, you can kind of tell that they're not totally sure what to say or what to make of all of this. But they do as you said and kind of sit at the edge of the pool and let the water cover their wounds and whatever they can. They are a little off-put, not so much by the nudity, but just the sheer, like, grossness of whatever is floating off of Paul. Like, you are a short and effective, albeit perhaps disgusting. No, that is not. That sounds an insulting word. It is not what I wish to say. But you are a very effective warrior.
You guys are not.
From what you were able to see, I cannot argue the point.
Can you speak to what happened? Can you tell us what happened?
In our community, we have had this in a place of protection. They gesture to where the orb is still kind of stuck into the ground with the rod. For a time, understanding that there is some enchantment to it, but not understanding what. We could tell that it was powerful and did not need to be exposed to the wrong hands. So we have kept it safe. But there was an infiltration. I do not believe she is a traitor. I believe she is altered. She is being held by the quorum in our community as we try to discover how to cure her ailment. She removed the orb, and then these things from wherever they came from took it from her. She snuck it to them. We have been in pursuit of them since they left outside the community, but they did a great destruction first. Do you need rest? Do you need food?
Paul's falling asleep
That
already.
that would be a good thing, I think, for us
Will
to
he?
rest and
Do you
recover
think
our
so?
capacities.
I think we might be better served by checking to see if that is what we came for, and then leaving if it is, so that we can report, because it is clear that these have all been compromised. I think time is probably of the essence.
If you intend on crossing the mountains again, you might well find yourselves in a worse condition. There are many threats. Whatever you wish and think is best, of course we will support in any way that we can, but
I mean, perhaps Ren, I'll look over at Ren. Ren, do you think we could just go back from here? Do we have to go back to where we started?
if we were to open the portal here, he points over at the giant magic storm anomaly thing. That stands a very, very significant risk of distorting the space that we have available to us. Potentially harming Melvin as well.
No, that's not worth it.
I forgot to mention, you guys would realize this though, and it would not be unusual for there to be things that are magically on fire that could resist this, so it still doesn't really throw off the spider thing. This whole thing has also been happening in a storm. So it has been actively raining, and you guys are pretty, it's not a pleasant situation currently. So you get to cross back through the mountains. And at this point, it would be getting... I mean, everything has happened reasonably quickly, but you would not be able to make it back before nightfall.
In that case. What does everyone think?
I mean, sorry, y'all might have said this, so I had to step away for a second. Is there like a village or something nearby where they took this orb thing from? And there were nothing people have been chasing it?
But
The Renethri have talked about a community,
Okay.
so there is something close by.
Paul's fast asleep, and he starts doing that, when a dog's asleep and it looks like the dog's kind of running in his sleep because Paul's dreaming of being a cheetah.
Is he going to drown there? The one Renethri just kind of reaches over and supports his head to make sure he doesn't roll over into the pool.
probably fine, provided his head isn't completely submerged.
It is a concern. I have not seen anyone fall asleep that quickly in water before.
Paul can sleep anywhere, literally anywhere.
I can also assure you you've never met anyone quite like Paul.
I do not understand if this is a threat
Oh,
or
Definitely.
is this
that
a
is not a
good
threat. It
thing?
could be, but usually it's not.
I see. I see. Well, if you need supplies before you leave, we can maybe help with that. If you need a place to lay your heads, we can offer that as well. Whatever you think is best.
Everybody else.
I think we have to stay out the storm. So
Does the storm ever go away?
But that one, no. That one, yes. The rain is not constant. Um, the magic and the pulses that can be erratic and difficult, those are common. They will deter your path back, but it should not be as difficult.
At least a place to rest and worthwhile. Right?
Very well. Ren, at this point, starts speaking Renethri with them. They all seem... Well, actually, no. Like, one of them seems very surprised by this. The others would not. So there's this, like, reasonably quick exchange in Renethri. And Ren will stand and kind of straighten up. Well, let's collect ourselves and make ourselves as comfortable as we can for a brief time. Collect our sleep and hopefully recover whatever has happened with him. He gestures to Paul.
Fine.
Eric, seeing that Paul is still very asleep, just kind of...
like a baby.
shoulders him like a baby. Just
I will go get the ball out. I'll undo the lock, take the ball out, and then I'll just sort of like put his cloak back on him.
I intend on washing these clothes quite a lot later.
No one
I'm
would
not
blame
sure they
you.
will recover. You might just need new clothes.
Fair. Ren looks to him and smiles, like Callan would love an excuse. Okay. And this group kind of leads you back the direction that they came. They
I'll
do
get the
pause. Oh yes. Good idea. So you've collected the orb and the sword and all of that stuff. On the way back, they do pause long enough to collect their fallen friend, and fashion a little makeshift kind of gurney, to carry his remains back. And it takes you a little while to get where you're going. Do any of you have true sight? Okay. It takes a little while for you to get where you're going, but they begin speaking in Renethri as they get closer, and it's almost like they're acknowledging things around you. And Ren will also be acknowledging some of these things when there's speaking happening. And the farther in you go, the more beautiful this area is getting. They're taking you like through a forested area, and everything is like wild shades of like really, really bright jewel tones as if they're backlit. Bless you. With like deep contrasting shadows, and everything's a little bit iridescent. And some of the creatures will kind of pop in and out of visibility. things that are similar to Luna moths that are glowing, things like that, all around. And they bring you into like a cave system that there is more of this in there, just everything is smaller. So the trees and everything are still they're sized to fit appropriately. And finally give you some reprieve from the rain overhead. They pause at the mouth of the cave having a conversation, and at this point you are aware that they are speaking to somebody who is standing there invisible. After a few conversational bits are exchanged, you see the guard at the front break invisibility and gesture for all of you to come in. You see someone who looks reasonably well decorated come up and hug Ren. Some more words are exchanged, and he turns to you. Hello, my friends. Thank you for your assistance in all of this. I am hopeful that you are able to solve these problems. For now, I understand that you need rest. Uh-oh. Excuse me. And he sneezes on you.
Oh, wow.
So sorry, so sorry. It's a blessing in my culture. You are welcomed here. We will prepare a space for you to sleep that will be comfortable, and you are welcome to our table tonight to eat with us. Any preparations that you need made, we are happy to help. I am Imat. I am the second. Chief is not the right word. We call ourselves Havas. I am the second Havas in this community, and am happy to do anything I can to make you comfortable.
We thank
So
you for your
I-
hospitality.
So I didn't mean to interrupt that. Um, I was just thinking that maybe I should sleep outside of town. Perhaps with Paul. If Paul is agreeable after we eat. I can put up my dome there, but I feel as though as long as this thing is still around here, it is potentially a danger to everyone.
That is reasonable. I can understand that request, and I believe that it might be intelligent. If you wish, that would be useful.
I'm sorry. I could. You're wanting to sleep in the tent.
So Eden, we've done it before, but Eden's like dome thing that he
Yeah.
picked up. Eden is thinking that he wants to sleep outside of the town, maybe with Paul, if Paul is awake and agrees to it, inside that dome, because we have this orb. If we bring this orb into town, it is a potential danger for everyone.
Okay. Was the orb not in the town?
To start with, yeah.
Okay.
And people got hurt because it was there.
Sure.
So
And
Eden just can sleep outside of town with Paul. You guys can stay in town, and he'll just put up his dome that nothing can cross magically.
I can also do the tower, and I mean, I don't want the two of you guys to be out here alone. If something happens, I don't know how we would get to you.
I mean, we could also set up the dome inside the tower too. I think. I just would hate for you to give up the opportunity to sleep in the bed if it's an option for you. And Paul and I are used to sleeping on the ground, unfortunately.
I am happy to provide anything that will make your stay more comfortable, whether you choose to stay here or farther outside of the space. Either way, you shall be well fed. Um, Thea, I don't know if you heard earlier too. Oh my gosh, why is my nose going crazy? Sorry, guys.
That was us last week. Don't worry.
Like, I don't think I'm sick. I think my allergies have just been really bad the last 2 days. But it's kind of hard to tell because I've got other weird stuff going on. So it's like, I don't know what sick is anymore. It's fine. But
At a certain
the
point, it just becomes the standard. I feel like.
I am unwilling to accept that. Nothing about me is standard right now anyway, so it's fine. The the orb was taken out of the community by someone that they believe to be possessed by something that is a member of their community that is not well.
Okay.
They have contained that threat for now. But because they do not think that it was her fault, they have not like harmed her or punished her or anything like that. So you would be aware that that was what the what those people said.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Would it be possible for us to talk to her?
if you wish, and with, of course, appropriate guarding supervision, some of our people will accompany you. I dare say you are more skilled in combat than many of ours. We tend to be a reasonably peaceful community. We do have some skilled hunters, but our battle capabilities do not tend to lie where you might be accustomed to seeing. But yes, as long as you are amenable to have some of us with you, I think that that could be certainly arranged.
So, do we need to interrogate this woman? Because Paul could do.
Is Paul awake now?
So.
Paul will wake up when he smells food.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming Paul probably woke up as everybody's moving, like and walking. So,
So he wakes up being like baby held by Eric.
He's not happy about being woken up. He wants to be asleep. He's freaking exhausted, but.
How would he respond to waking up like being cradled in somebody's arms?
Confused at first, and then he would just like push himself off and be like,
okay.
I don't like you like that, dude.
I mean, he already thinks that Ren is like attracted to Eric, so you know. So, do you wish to do this before or after you have had time to perhaps clean yourselves or
"No, it's too right now."
be fed? Oh, okay.
I think we would probably make a better impression if we are fed and cleaned and rested, perhaps.
Paul, they're offering food.
Okay, eat first, then get answers.
Very well. If you wish to, if you have any need for refreshments or something like that as food is being prepared, our bathhouse equivalent is just there. He'll point over to an area that's very clearly like a space that's hot springs. And I have to look at the names. Srahia will gladly bring you to our convening space when you are prepared. We should be ready within the hour for an evening meal amongst the organizers. Is there anything that I can provide for you in the meantime?
Booze and food.
The food is coming? The booze? he sees uh Ren just kind of looks over and he says something in Renethri. Ah, I see. And Imat will say something to someone who is standing close by, who nods and runs to. We will have some spirits for you soon. It does not take long for them to return with several different bottles, all of things that seem to have been homemade in this area from foraged plants. They are not labeled. They are different colors. They're clear bottles, so they are different colors. All of these should taste very good. I hope that you enjoy them. And Srahia will have you join us very shortly. He'll kind of give a bow. He'll hug Ren and kind of see himself out.
So, I hear bathhouse, and that's, I think, where I'm going to go. Does anybody have anything that they need me for before I go get in a warm bath?
Figured that I was going to be doing the same thing, Ren said, handing one of the bottles over to Paul. Can enjoy some time letting our muscles relax a bit and hopefully recover a bit enough to feel more confident if something is to happen.
We have one of the anti-magic, containment things, right?
Yes.
I don't know why I didn't do this before, but I'm going to put the orb in that and seal it up.
Good plan. Good plan.
There you go.
Yes, so that is now taken care of. The orb is
Can I have my cloak
tucked in.
back now?
Oh, it was like I draped it over you, so that you have it.
Oh, I thought you
Yeah.
were just carrying the orb in the cloak, because that's what I would have done. I wouldn't be touching that freaking orb.
No, you're right.
So, how badly damaged is my cloak? Is my cloak pretty? Does it look pretty rough?
I mean, it looks rough in that it has been smudged around in the mud and all of that kind of stuff. As far as the damage goes, it's lightly damaged. There are some really worn spots where the stick was, but it's not going to affect its function as either a magic item or a cloak. There are a couple of areas now that are worn, but
Okay.
nothing major. It is not tatters by any means.
Okay.
So, as funny as that would be to have this cloak that's not a cloak on this perpetually naked gnome. But yeah, you guys are able to clean up in the hot springs. And it is really, really pleasant. The humidity in the space is very, the air is heavy, but it's also with the smell of the stones and some of the flowers. They have some aquatic flowers that are planted through that space to help with filtration, as well as to add some aromatic kind of therapeutic effect there. And it is a lovely little setup. There are some other locals that are there too. It's sort of a larger space. It is more of the open bathhouse type of setting. And they all look at you kind of strangely, but you can tell there are some whispers here and there. Like somebody has already started some of the rumor mill about what all has happened. So you get the oh, and
If
things like
anyone
that.
is willing to listen, Eden will start with a minor illusion, so it's like a 5-foot square. He's going to start telling the story of Paul defeating Egg's Death the Destroyer, who is.
Ren doesn't say anything as you do this, and there are definitely people there who are listening. They enjoy a good story. And Ren just has this little like half smile on his face the whole time, looking back and forth between the illusion and Paul. Eric does not seem nearly as like cynically amused, but he is also amused. There's also a little side conversation kind of happening there about like how he knows so much Renethri beyond just Tanae's and things to that effect. So there's a little quiet conversation happening there. And is anybody communicating with anyone else? I do think that probably Thebe and Assyrian, two of the guards that were out there, or not guards, but scouts that were out there, would probably be here as well. Is there any business you want to get into? Just
Paul drinks and soaks in the hot baths to ease his aching muscles and his exhaustion, and he probably falls back asleep, to be honest with you.
so this definitely tastes alcoholic. It is a very low alcohol value, though. I'm not sure that Paul would notice because he's already very tired.
Yeah,
But
Paul, I mean, if it's not strong, Paul will just drink the whole freaking thing, and then once it's empty, if there's not another bottle nearby, he will probably drift off to sleep. So,
there is not one immediately nearby, although like Ren kind of looks over as you get close to the bottom of the bottle. If it looks like you're happy to drift asleep, he will let you. Having seen kind of some of the stuff that you've already been through and knowing that something is not going on well in your brain, like something deeply impacted you, he's gonna let you try and recoup.
yeah.
So yeah, he'll do that and just kind of make sure you don't accidentally slide into the water and drown or something. But beyond that, just let you recoup. Anybody else getting into anything?
Just as we're getting just cleaned up and stuff, I'm gonna set the Minda pillar on Paul's cheetah cloak
Correct.
and let it start working on that.
Makes a few cute little clicking sounds and stands up and shakes its little front legs and then goes over and starts like playing a little music boxy tune as it does its job mending Paul's cloak. And it's very happy to have a to-do. Just goes on about itself just very, very happily.
Teffin's probably
Oh,
Teffin's probably so relaxed that his form gets a little bit sort of fluid and stretched out a little bit.
Ooh.
Eventually, he just like becomes part of the water.
I mean,
Now
and probably
everyone is
not so
bathing in-
much that if you weren't paying attention, you know that you'd notice, but definitely a little bit elongated and more elastic and sort of going with the flow of the hot water.
Eric looks over at you and it's just like, that is uncanny. When we're not in such, I suppose, peril? I'm not sure if that's exactly the word for it. I feel like I have a lot of questions about all of this. I've never met anybody who does that before.
It's just a thing.
Yes.
Is it a common thing?
I don't know.
It's a fair answer. I respect that answer a lot. Interesting. Very well. You can kind of tell Eric is just sort of taking this whole place in. It is something, as he has before, it is a whole new place with whole new everything. And while not childish, he is very childlike in his sense of wonder and just sort of soaking it all in and enjoying all of the newness of everything.
So once Eden has told his whole story, he'll just sort of go back behind Eric and just start massaging his shoulders.
He straightens a bit and lets you, giving there's a little bit of a glance over to Thea. Thea can kind of tell that like he's a little bit confused at this, but it feels nice, so he just sort of softens into it, and appreciates it. Like, oh, you do have a gift for this.
Been too long, been too busy.
I can appreciate that. Thank you, my friend.
You're very welcome. Breathe, breathe, breathe.
Oh, oh. Thank you. Oh, 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 oh.
You
Like
have a
I'm
lovely
finding it.
knot.
Yep, that one. Ooh. Yeah, so you guys are able to get cleaned up, and a woman who is well dressed in a more kind of wild standard, really beautiful, like handmade beads and all of that kind of stuff, comes over into the bathhouse and kneels down by you guys. Imat says that when you are prepared, you are welcomed in for supper. Preparations have been made for you when you are ready. And she'll give you a little bit of a bow and take her exit, but before she actually leaves the door, I will escort you. I will be waiting within eyeshot of the door. Kind of leave you to the last little bits of relaxation and whatnot there.
All right. Well, eat. See if we can talk to this lady and find out about the orb and what's going on with her, and then we'll set up camp
Sounds good.
outside of town.
Use a map.
I concur. That sounds an excellent idea. Eric will stand and get himself dried off and all of that good stuff. You are much more aware at this point. Well, I'm sure that there are like towels and things to that effect that everybody dons to be as appropriately dressed as they would wish. Although this would be one of those places where clothing would be optional. But yeah.
Clothing is always optional around Paul.
Yeah, you gather Eric maintains some discretion there just for the sake of anybody who might be uncomfortable with such things. And Ren has like a towel situation going on as well. He has a gigantic, like star-shaped scar across like his whole upper body and the one that crosses his neck. And doesn't really go to any great effort to hide it. You can tell that he's not intentionally trying to draw attention to it, but it is a gnarly looking beast of a scar. And also, for a man who has been like had his shoulder practically bitten off like 3 times today, he hardly has any damage anymore. Like he looks pretty much 100% healed to the degree that he could be based on the scarring. So it's an interesting contrast, and he was that way before he even got in the water. So it's a bit of an odd thing to see. But he'll stand and get himself sorted and together as well. They have also brought you clean clothes and have offered to have yours laundered. So
My armor really needs a wash, but I'm not willing to let it go.
that is fair.
Yes, same.
But yeah, anything that needs laundering, they are happy to launder, and there are very like greens and blues and different like berry colors have dyed this very natural, very soft woven textile. So it's kind of almost like tunic tops. That's not the right word, but it is. It would be a style of tunic top. I don't remember the word for it. They tend to have like the slightly higher collars that come down almost priesty looking, and are long, kind of. Yeah. There's an African word for them because I ordered one for Keith's cosplay and I don't remember what it is. But yeah, that kind of a cut with really soft sort of wide-legged pants that are all appropriately sized for you, except for Paul. Paul definitely like the proportions are more of that of a child instead of just a gnome. They definitely took like kids' clothes because that was what they had. So yeah, you all also now have a set of Renethri clothes, tribal clothes.
There's a purple one. That's the one Thea goes for.
There would be.
Shirt.
Yep, there would be. It's very complimentary of her inky skin. And Eric says as much. Well, friends, let us not keep our hosts waiting, I suppose. And
Indeed.
we'll guide you. Sriheya. I make difficult names for myself. Meets you at the door and guides you around this space. It's kind of an interesting. This cavern system reminds you a little bit of the Crystal Spades area, but it's much more lush with dense foliage, and it feels more like you kind of forget that you're in a cave system when you're at the White Castle. This you never forget because there's always moss and green and things around you, and it feels more tight. It's not quite as technologically advanced, but there are certainly advancements. And as you are invited into the space that you gather is kind of their central communal area, you also are passing. This would be an interest to Teffin. There is a space where there is someone working on a few different metallic constructs, I suppose, of different kinds. And there is one that is off to the side that looks like a very large, kind of almost humanoid shape that has this flame inside of a glass window. And it looks like it's trying to flicker, but it's not able to do anything, and it's just kind of propped over to one corner of the man's space. It's kind of an open air workshop, if you will, on the way. So you see that on the way.
Okay, so I'm gonna make note of this space, but at the moment we do have like a goal in mind, so I'll kind of mark it down in my head where it is to investigate later.
Good deal. You are all invited to this very long table, and it's kind of one of those tables where you sit cross-legged at the table. There are cushions there around it on the floor. Although many of the Renethri don't bother with those. And you are invited to sit. Imat is there, as well as all of the people that were on watch that you met, except for one, you gather. One of them is not with the rest. You can assume probably with family mourning. There is someone beside Imat who introduces himself as Tilmatsa. And you gather that he would be kind of the first in command, though this doesn't really seem like... It doesn't really seem like a dictatorship. The power structure is a lot more casual than what you've seen in empirical structure. So this is a much more casual thing, and there are several other people that you gather play important roles. Excuse me. That have also joined in. There are foods that you have never seen before all over the table. They, for the most part, smell incredibly good. Not maybe as skillfully crafted as what you have grown accustomed to at the Palace of the Crystal Spades, but for all of its rusticness, everything is very hearty and flavorful, and there's a lot of cooking with floral elements, and there's a little bit of meat offering, and then there's some stuff that you're not sure if it's meat or plant or it's just totally foreign to you. But it is a spread to show appreciation.
I'll start with the not meat stuff first.
That is kind of where they excel. So it is delightful. You are also kind of let in on some of their story song culture too. They have been working on trying to promote this after this part of their culture was very nearly wiped out. So between each course, there is like a short story presented that then carries with it a song with like beats that all of them know and do like against the table.
I'm gonna start trying to memorize as much of that as I can.
That's awesome. I did not write what these were, even though I had in my head that they exist. So I am going to write some of these for you and put them into the campaign shorts. But yeah, there are 3 different stories along with songs that they happily kind of teach you and see that like they have kind of a fellow appreciator of music and story with them. And so it's kind of their way of sharing something about themselves that they love. Ren also participates in this. He knows these stories and these beats and songs. His voice is especially gravelly, so it kind of sets off from all of the rest of it. So yeah, you are all well fed and are able to, if there are any questions or any conversations that you want to have, you're welcome to. Not so much.
I've just asked general, like, how long have they been here? Is this, are they like a nomadic people, or have they like been in this area for generations protecting this orb?
So this is kind of an interesting story. The response that you get is a fascinating one. A little bit of all of the above. There has been a hidden community here for a very long time because the magical storms, those anomalies, make it very difficult for most creatures to set up a comfortable community. The nature of the Renethri, they are able to stabilize it to some extent in a different way than others would have access to, because they are very in tune with nature and nature's magic. And there is an element to them that also can blend nature magic and chaos magic. So they have a unique relationship with this area that allows them to be here more safely than many would. Because of that, in the celestial, you are currently in the celestial plane. You might not have realized that because you just went where Melvin sent you. There used to be a great imbalance in power here, where the Celestials effectively took over the Renethri communities and believed themselves to be by the goddess's standard her chosen people, and ended up effectively enslaving the Renethri for generations. So they almost erased the majority of the Renethri culture. But two pocket communities managed to exist in secret that started to kind of have this chain of almost like an underground railroad sort of a situation, trying to break people out of celestial rule and bringing them into these communities to organize. That has now been about a decade back, and there has been a lot, in a very short period of time, a lot of progress in a lot of different ways. But this community and its sister community across the continent, across the plane rather, they have a lot more of the original, as much as it could be, ties to some of the old cultures. So in a lot of ways, it feels more tribal. They would have been nomadic. Immat would tell you this, left to their own devices and not having been pushed out, they operated more nomadically, though they would stay in specific regions as different tribes. But because of that interference in their natural existence, they ended up adapting to a more insular, kind of existence. They do not have the same kinds of problems that they used to with that power imbalance, but there is still a lot of work to be done before anything would look even remotely like what it used to for that culture many moons ago. Any of the people that are alive now have never known what the Renethri would have been naturally.
Bless you.
Thank you. So, yeah, The orb was almost more incidental. Excuse me, sorry. The orb is almost more of an incidental thing. There are a lot of artifacts that have gotten misplaced here by wild magic weirdness. And that was one of them, but they could tell that there is a darker magic to it than a lot of the other anomalies that they or weird artifacts that they have found. The artifact studio is actually what you passed where that big construct, like the humanoid construct was, where they do research in the things that they find, and if it seems safe to try to repair it or try to find where it came from, then they attempt to, because they don't want to participate in any kind of erasure of other people's important information either. That's become kind of a thing that they feel is important. So they try to figure stuff out if they can. So that was something that was found quite a while back, and they've just been protecting it because they didn't want it to fall into untrustworthy hands. So that is what you have discerned from this conversation. Yeah. Anything else from that brings up?
If there's anything they can tell me about the person that took it.
So she would be more of a she had a role in town as a teacher. She was one of the teachers that tried to bridge the gap between like teaching old world customs and teaching the ways of life on the outside for anybody who ends up wanting to do more outside of the community, being able to bridge that gap. She's never had any kind of behavioral issues before or anything like that. She is married and has a family, and one day she just like snapped. It has been like in the last day, something has gone wrong in her mind to a degree that they're struggling to get her to even acknowledge who she is. She seems confused about who she is, where she is, and it doesn't seem like a traditional possession situation, but they can tell that something is not right. So
After they kind of talk and explain that, Paul looks at everybody else and says, "So, why do we care? Like, aren't we supposed to just get the orb and get it back?"
in essence, yes. Ren says that is the more important part of this particular issue.
So
But
our
we-
job's done, right?
We can't be so goal oriented though that we lose sight of the fact that people are being affected by these things. If we do, we're no better than the other side.
Agreed, and in more simple reasoning than that, without quite so much moral quandary involved. There's also, if we intend on staying the night here to allow everyone to rest, we have the time. If we are simply curious about if there is something else behind it, if she can give us information about it that we would not have otherwise, that might be useful to its destruction, then we might as well ask it since we're here anyway.
Or
Is she dangerous?
Imat kind of lets his head fall to one side. Not currently. She could be.
So then,
Psychologically, I believe she could be.
should we kill her then?
I would prefer you not. I don't believe that she is a bad person. I believe that she is infected with something. So I would appreciate it if you not kill her. I believe that her family would also be very appreciative.
You
Forgot
know,
an accent.
I got infected once. And I went to this healer and they put me on this stuff. I had to take it for a couple of days, but it cleared it right up. Maybe we should go do that.
Was this the same time you had to get the cream for your junk?
Yeah, that time.
Junk?
Yeah, there was a crib. You just put it right on, cleared it up.
Why would applying cream to trash affect your...
It was an antifungal for his nether bits.
Oh, I see. I see. Interesting.
I don't think that's the issue that this lady has. I think she has a different issue.
No, yes.
We said it was an infection.
Well, infections can be different.
Well,
And plus, if we can figure out what happened to her, we can maybe keep it from happening to one of us. And then I will drop my voice so that hopefully only my companions will hear me say, again.
Yeah.
You roadmen.
I don't remember. What are you talking about? Paul says that in full volume.
Infections.
Oh, for that, the healer just said, I just need to be more careful while I stick it.
And were you?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm always careful.
Paul listens. What do
I
you
line it up and just very carefully. Every time.
You see, like, Eric seems amused but rather unfazed.
Can I have one of those drinks that was floating around earlier?
Ren hands you a different bottle. And like gives you a little bit of a wink. It's like, yours is better. Excuse me, I am so sorry. But yeah, this one is a really much stouter. Has a bit of a burn of bourbon. Has a little bit more of a chocolate undertone to it. But this like really kind of crisp, clean flavor. So yeah, it's yours is pretty strong.
I have just a little bit. I'm not trying to get a buzz on or anything.
You're not
Just
trying
take
to
the edge off
forget
the
that
ball.
Paul exists.
No.
Just make him slightly more tolerable.
Yes.
Good deal. So yes, now that you have decided that you're not going to murder this woman, and that she doesn't need drunk cream, theoretically. When food has kind of finished and all of that, one of the guards will take you down to a space where it's kind of a contained, smaller cave. And it looks like there is more of a magical barrier than anything like bars or anything to that effect. They do prepare a plate for her. and bring it down. But what you see is a little bit alarming in that it's very clear that she has been trying to scratch her way out through the rocks. So her hands are just bloody and mangled. And the guard looks equally like off put by this and casts a low-level healing that starts kind of knitting them back together to health.
Can I cast magic?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm assuming that there's some sort of an aura around her.
There is kind of a dark aura around her. It kind of reminds you of the weird smoke that came off of the orb when it plunged itself into the earth after Paul footballed it. It's a very, very strong enchantment, very dark feeling. Sends chills up your spine just even detecting it. Kind of uncomfortable for all of you even to just be around.
Did you say you did detect magic?
Yeah. Detect magic. Does anyone have a way to dispel a magical aura?
Let me check Eric. Ren will say that he knows someone that can. So if nobody here can, he can bring someone back.
So,
Oh, yes. Eric actually raises his hand and it's like, I don't know if it will work, but I can. Depending on what strength it has on her.
I would I'm looking at this right now. I think you put whatever you can into it because it looks.
Should we ask her questions first?
I'm just gonna look down at her nails. Sure, Paul.
I'll pull up that spell.
I look like through the bars and I say, "Hey, you know that's not going to work. You're attacking the strongest part of the stone. If you really want to do it effectively, you got it."
Nope.
I'm just saying, like,
Yep. Mm-mm.
This settles into her mind. Like, she doesn't turn to look at you guys. So far, all you just see is like this mess of long black hair that's like, it looks like maybe at some point it has been arranged nicely and in an organized way. Right now it's just disheveled and all over the place. And like the lower part of her dress is just tattered where she's just kind of been pacing without shoes or any foot coverings. This might be the first time you've seen Renethri feet. I don't know.
That's true.
They
What about Renethri feet?
they're odd. So their feet are slightly longer than normal like people's feet, but instead of having actual like toes, the end of their foot is like bifurcated. And it has a really thick pad on the bottom, and you can gather like they are built for speed. If they were to go up on the ball of their foot, it's almost like they've just got an extra shock and they can lean forward and just go really, really fast. So between that and the wings that are built for gliding, they are definitely like evolution has meant something specific for them. And so like it's kind of an odd thing, and you can tell that she's also been trying to get through some of the lower rocks and whatnot with feet that are definitely not built for that. So yeah, you see her kind of tilt her head, and what Paul starts to say sort of sinks in, and she kind of digs at the in-betweens more and more.
Oh, you figured it out. You got it, just like that.
Oh,
Shaking her head as she
I'll tell you what, some people, they just don't think.
hush.
Yeah, true.
I'll go up to the bars and I'll say, your hands are really hurt. Can I bind them for you?
She looks at them. I need to get back. I need to get back.
Get back where?
I need to get back to the rest of me.
Okay, we're
To the
good.
rest of you? Well, you look like you're intact to me. Where's the rest of you?
All the little pieces. All the little pieces everywhere.
Ah, yep.
How many pieces?
6 more. 6 more. 6 more. And she just keeps repeating that.
Was that a lot of pieces?
I mean, you're one piece, so imagine you don't know numbers, so never mind.
I like how long it took you to make that connection. Like, oh, wait, you can't count.
So is
Fine.
something wrong with her head, or is it
six
magical?
Six
It's
more pieces.
magical.
Oh, okay. Should I try smacking her? Sometimes that helps.
Yes, usually when that helps, it's more because it's physical.
Well, I'm
This
just
is
saying.
magical. So
Like,
I don't
remember that
know.
time when we were in that battle, and that one guy was like losing it and freaking out, and I just smacked him a couple times, and he came right back.
I do remember that, but that wasn't magical. So I think this is a little different.
Oh, well.
Thank you, though, Paul. That was good memory.
You see Eric kind of like glance over at Paul concernedly. It's like, Ren almost laughs.
If you guys want, I can go in there with her and ask her some questions.
You know, I
Let's-
think
No.
we should wait.
Can you guys think of any more questions? I mean, I think
Happens to it. Where did it go? I lost it.
Oh, no, we got it.
stop.
She pops her head almost around backwards. And you can see, like, they have really big, very reflective green eyes. Hers are somehow so bloodshot that you can't even see the green. And just like totally disheveled, like blood and mud on her face, snaps around. You have it?
Mm-hmm. The thing that you, the ball, the orb?
Yes.
Oh. Yeah, I took it.
She rushes the bars and just slams into them.
Ooh, ouch.
What did I say? Not that you, the edges. Oh my God, she doesn't listen.
You have what I need.
What happens when all the pieces are together?
Can be whole. I can come back to serve him.
Where is he?
Below? Far below. Sometimes not. But right now, far below.
Can he talk to you, or do you just feel him?
Presence is all around me.
Even right now.
Yes.
I don't see him.
Can you talk
What's he
to
look
him?
like?
Look,
Ooh, what's his name?
Crochet.
We know someone called Crochet.
Again, good memory, Paul. I'm very impressed.
Yeah,
Can you
isn't it
take
the guy
me?
we're trying to kill?
Yep.
Traitors.
No, not really.
You would destroy him?
Oh, I mean, if the pay's good.
She looks horrified by this and like tries to reach her arms out to like grab Paul.
Paul,
This is
could you do me a favor?
Yeah.
It would help a lot. Could you go back up to where we were eating dinner and get me a cup of hot water, please? And will you bring it back to me?
Oh, I see what we're doing here. Okay. Yeah. Should I bring the orb too?
Nope.
No.
Just a cup of hot water.
Okay. I'll be back.
I literally have it with me.
Okay, good. I was just about to say, can someone supervise him?
So I dash and I go to the people, whoever I need to go to. I say, I need boiling hot water.
right away.
Yep.
The person that is kind of in charge of such things will put on a kettle, and it takes a couple of minutes, but you get some boiling hot water. And actually, some of them would have things like heat metal, so it would not take very long at all. It'd take a couple minutes, but it would not take very long at all. They work faster than electric kettles. And you are given effectively a tankard of boiling water.
All right. You guys got about a minute before I come down there and throw it in that girl's face.
Yep.
I said, bring it to me, Paul.
That's too late.
what you do while they while he works on getting his water?
I don't know. I'm just so concentrated on trying to get Paul the hell out of there for a second. I don't know. I can't. I mean, I think we have just about everything we need from her. Can you think of anything else? No.
I don't think she's well enough to answer anything that would be overly useful. Her mind is fixated. Here. Do you wish me to try to dispel?
Do you mind?
We don't wish to do any harm to anything dear to you. He'll, like, say gently, approaching her. He's gonna use his captivating presence.
Is that a check?
I'm checking to make sure. Yeah, it's a save. Okay. And she fails. Okay. She looks to him, and you see his eyes start to glow, and kind of develop a little bit of an aura. The part of him also sort of kind of becomes a little bit more translucent, almost like you're looking through him like a mirage. We only wish to help. And you're so tired. You don't deserve to feel this tired. It kind of reaches a hand towards her and like cups her cheek and lets her face kind of fall close to his and just like touches foreheads to her. Let's see. Dispel. So this is gonna be. Oh. Okay, so. That's a nat freaking 20.
Wait, that she rolls?
He had to roll that one.
Okay.
That's the for 4th level or higher on a target, make the ability check using your spellcasting ability. That one, like, it was a high level spell that is on her, but with a nat 20, he is able to release it from its grip on her. Roll me a perception check, you guys that are still in the room.
You said perception?
Yeah.
23.
Highest roll of the night.
16.
Nice.
Unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20. Okay. So with the 16, you see like as like he closes his eyes, but you still get the impression of this like piercing blue there. You see almost like a hand unwrapping from her. With you, it mostly dissipates. You two, though, see where there's almost like a little shadow of it that looks like it is attempting to reach toward Eric.
Okay, and can I see that still with the
Yes.
Detect Magic up? I'm going to just like grab his shoulders and rip him backwards.
This jars her a little bit out of the charm, but she is herself now, so it is not a dangerous thing per se. You do see at this point that like it takes almost a swipe at him and then dissipates with what little energy it had left to make that attack and then miss. Well done. You nearly knock him on his butt, but the enchantment has been dispelled. And you see, like, at this point, it takes her a moment of being disoriented before she realizes that her hands and feet are bloodied. And it's like there's been some healing, but then she went to digging again, so she kind of undid it pretty quickly. And like the pain sets in, and you can kind of just hear her sort of shriek for a second and crumple into the floor.
All right, lady, you better start talking right now.
Nope, hold it for me, please. That's for me.
Somebody hold her down. I'll get this woman to
No,
talk.
I need that.
So I'm gonna
I will
apologize
take the
first to
boiling
Eric.
tinker water from Paul.
Be careful. Be careful. It's really hot.
I know. Thank you. That's what I asked for.
All right, someone open this gate. We're going to get these answers.
We got the answers.
Oh, you did?
Yep.
Man.
You were here for it.
No, we need more answers. I thought we needed to know where this Koshi guy is.
We asked her that.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
she
she doesn't really know.
No.
She said she knew. She said he was down.
What does down mean?
Well, do you not want to ask her and find out?
I don't think she knows. So I'm going to take the I was gonna make some of the sleepy time tea. That's why I asked for the water.
Awesome.
So she might already be sleepy. I didn't know we were doing the dispelling thing like right then. So I don't know, but that was mine. I'm making sleepy time tea.
Perfect. That is lovely. She looks incredibly confused. And then looking to all of you, like you get this in Renethri, like pain, ipapat. And Ren just shakes his head and goes over to kind of grab her hand and speaks back in Renethri, back and forth for a moment. Says her common isn't especially fluent, but she apologizes that she does not know what she might have said.
What is the
I'm
last
gonna go
thing
ahead
she
and drop-
remembers?
Oh, yeah.
What was that, Keith?
I said, what is the last thing she remembers?
And what was that, Stephen? Sorry.
I was gonna say, while I'm there, I'm just gonna drop the rest of the healing from my sword into it.
Awesome. Her hands start to knit back together, and she kind of like crawls to be able to hug your leg and Ipsantiaga. Ren will ask her what she remembers, and she responds, she remembered, the last thing that she remembered was being with her son on the playground and hearing something calling to her from deeper within the caves. And feeling like she needed to get to one of the artifact vaults. She felt like something very, very bad would happen if she didn't get to the artifact vault. As if something were calling to her. That is the last thing that she remembers. The guard that is with her goes up to consult with the people that would be in charge of her keeping to see if they feel that she should be released yet or kept under surveillance just in case something tries to persuade her again. So he will vanish upstairs for a bit.
What was in the vault that she needed to get? Was it the orb?
Ren just kind of looks
That
over.
is my...
Yes.
Yes.
Does the orb talk? Did it talk to you? Didn't talk to me.
Ren kind of
You got the
translates
orb.
back and forth. And she nods. Yes.
Has it ever talked to you before? No? Okay.
Should we open it and see if it talks some more?
Maybe that's not the best idea.
Probably not. Or you might be digging at the walls too.
I would do it much better.
I know you would. I know.
Ren does not bother translating any of that because he does not want her to know that you have it. Just in case. So yeah, he does not bother translating that. The guards do, after like discussing it, decide that they are going to have someone assigned to her, but let her out. So they drop the enchantment on the cage cell, whatever, and open it up, and she immediately begins to hug all of you, and just like Ipsantiaga, Ipsantiaga, and he says he'll tell you that that's many thanks, like gratitude's plenty is the translation. So yeah, she'll fall all over herself, kind of literally, thanking you and apologizing as well. And think that
I'll
he's
give
still
her
not
the
smiling.
tankard and just say, like, this will help you rest tonight, but, like, get to wherever you're going before you drink it.
Look at this thing. She nods and
Doesn't speak
holds you.
common.
Ren's gonna translate it for me.
She will like nod and thank you. More, and yeah, you have helped this woman not be stuck as a husk for a piece of crochet. Good job.
Well, we did some good today, gang. We don't do that every day.
Oh, I guess you don't.
I suppose that's a matter of perspective. I think that oftentimes you do quite a lot of good.
I'm just gonna like side
Also,
eye Paul.
I
Yeah.
feel like there are some things that are underrated there. And also, you're not wrong. Oh. Well, with those things solved, should we perhaps prepare for the night? And speaking of, it is now past midnight for you guys. So
Is it really? Holy
it
cow.
is.
Yeah.
I should probably let you sleep.
Yeah.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
It's fun when you're having flies.
I don't know about that. I would argue that point. Did everybody have a good time?
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.